never told you guys this story. It was when we were living in Massachusetts, and I do remember that I made a video, and I said in the video that something happened and I was really pissed off. And so many of you guys were asking what happened, and I never told you guys. I was just so annoyed. I was just annoyed, and I didn't want to go back into it and stuff like that. But I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, I'm gonna tell them that weird little thing that happened in, where was it? Hadley, Massachusetts, last year when we lived in Massachusetts. Yeah, Hadley, Massachusetts. So, okay. Now, I'm just winging this from memory. So I'm just going to try to remember. So I think it was around Halloween. And I was out doing errands, and I needed something really quick. And I said, okay, let me just go to Walmart because it's right here. The other store that I went to was right next door. And I usually don't want to go to Walmart. I don't go to Walmart. I don't usually shop at Walmart. I have a few times, but I try not to shop at Walmart just because I don't like Walmart. And Walmart, whatever. I just don't really like Walmart. And I was like, screw it, I'm gonna go. Because cat litter. I needed cat litter. And I was like, okay, let me just go get cat litter. And I bought cigarettes. I started smoking again at that point. At that point I was smoking again. No, she wants me to go harder. So I went to Walmart to get both of those items. Got them. I went into the checker line. He rang up my cat litter because you have to buy the cigarettes from another aisle. So he rang up the cat litter. I gave him cash, and he gave me back a 5 and a couple ones, like 3 ones or something like that. I'm not sure, but it was a 5 and a couple ones. And I remember thinking, this bill feels weird. I did. I remember thinking that, and I was like, oh, it's probably because it's new, And I know, because when I had worked with money, if you just work with money, you're a cashier somewhere, you get to know money, and you get to know the ones that feel fake. It's obvious to you, But if you don't work with money, it's not really obvious. But I remember thinking, this feels weird. But it was a new bill. So I was like, whatever. And then the guy was nice, He was cordial talking to me at first. But I remember when he handed me back the change, he was different. He wasn't looking at me. When I asked him, I said, where do I go and buy cigarettes? He was like, oh, right there. And it was the next aisle over. I was like, oh, okay. But I remember, I was like, oh, he seems like he just suddenly got distracted or something. So I went over to the next aisle, and I didn't even put my money away. I still had it out. I walked over literally with the money like this and my bag. So I went to the next aisle, and I asked for the cigarettes, and I gave him the money, which was the 5 and the 3 ones, and he takes the money, and then he's like this, he's like, and he does the whole thing, looking at it under the light, and then he's like, he's like, this isn't real. And I was like, oh, well, I got it from you guys, so, And he's like, I was like, I just came from that line, and that's the change I got back, and I came right over here with the change. And I look over at the other aisle, at the other checker, and he's completely engaged. He isn't looking over here. He's completely just involved in his checking and doing whatever. He seemed very shut out. Like, he's just like, and I was like, well, that's where I got it, so probably want to check with him. And he's like, okay, excuse me for a moment. And I was like, sure. And he calls, and he makes a call. And next thing you know, there's this guy. This comes out, and he's in a suit, a darker suit. He comes out. The guy hands him the $5 bill. The guy does the whole thing. And at this point, there's a few people walking by kind of looking, they're kind of looking, which I probably would have done too. But the other cashier at the other aisle is completely still involved in his work. He doesn't see a thing going on. So the new guy that comes out in the suit is like, yeah, this is counterfeit. I was like, sorry to hear, but I got it from you guys, so handle it as you may. And he's like, excuse me. And he does something on his radio, and the next thing you know, there's like 6 men in suits. 6 men in suits come out. So now it looks like a scene, it's like there's 6 men in suits, the cashier, and me. And they're all passing around this $5 bill. And the guy in the other checking line is still super busy. Like, at this point, there's people watching. It's pretty obvious. There's like people in the other aisles, and they're all looking. It's like a scene. Like, if you were to walk by, you would definitely know something is going on. You would definitely know that. But this other checker, he doesn't know. He's still so busy, And I said, why don't you talk to your checker? That's who I got the money from, I said, I don't know what else to tell you. It's change that I got. And then he said, so you were over there first, and you bought something, and then you came over here. And I was like, yes. And I told him the whole story. And I said, yes, that's exactly what happened. I said, I'm sure you could check your cameras. You could see that I didn't even put my hand back in my purse. I just took the cash and came over here and bought the cigarettes. And they're all looking at me like it's definitely like I'm a bad person. It doesn't feel like they're on my side. It's definitely like that look where you're just, you're just like a low life, that's how you feel. It's just that look of, and I'm thinking, do you think I have some machine in my house where I'm just like cranking off counterfeit bills? Like, how do you even do that? I don't even know where to get them. Seriously. Like, I got my little hat on. 20. Are you kidding me? It's not mine, And he's like, and now I can tell they're stalling around. Like, they're not even really saying anything anymore. And I was like, sorry for your troubles, but I need to go now, so can I have my change? Because they still owed me like $1 or something in change. And he's like, ma'am, it's your choice. You can leave now. That's your choice. But we did call the cops. And I was like, wow, they really do shoot first and ask questions later. I was like, what I would like is my change so I can go. So the guy's like, he's like, doo-doo-doo-doo. And he got me my $1 or something, gave it to me. And I said, thank you. And they're like, mm-hmm. And I turn around and I walk out the door, and they all follow me. All of them follow me out the door. Still, that guy at the other checker has noticed nothing. They watch me. They stop at the door. There's 6 guys looking at me. They stop at the door, and they watch me walk to my car. And I get in the car, and I'm really freaking nervous. Like, I'm all like, unhappy. I'm not happy at all. I'm pissed. They would never know it. I was so cool and calm. And I take off, and the minute I leave their parking lot and I go across the street over into a mall across the street, a small mall. I park in the mall. I see two police officers drive up, like literally right after I drive off the parking lot. The police come. And so I was like, oh my God. And so I call my dad. I tell him what happened, and he said, just call the cops and tell them what happened. And so I did. I called the cops, and I was like, look, I just went to Walmart. They gave me some change. It turned out to be a counterfeit $5 bill. It wasn't mine. I had nothing to do with it. I'm just letting you know because they called the cops on me as if I had, something to do with this nonsense. And the police man that I talked to was super nice. He said, okay, you got my information. He said, thank you, ma'am. I'm sure you won't hear back from us about the situation. Sorry about the inconvenience. Have a good day. He was very sweet. And so I was like, that teaches me not to shop at Walmart. And I haven't. I was so mad that day. And something had just happened that I did tell you guys about. Like some lady cussed me out like the day before. I was just driving and it was just insane. I was just feeling really, really bad. So I never talked to you guys about it or anything, but yeah, that's what happened at Walmart. Yeah. Screw Walmart. I hope you guys like my little story, and don't shop at Walmart. And I guess I'll end the video here. Have a good day, morning, evening, night, and Walmart.